All right, it is June 5th, 2023, one day away from my birthday. My birthday is tomorrow, so super pumped about that. Made this video, the purpose of it is to create a game plan of what we've done with our finances in order to hopefully help someone budget their personal finances. Everyone's situation is different. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing personal experiences on what we've done to spend money guilt-free on the things that we love. So just kicking things off, just setting expectations with this channel. I'm precisely making this channel to document our path to financial freedom. So if you can, like, comment, subscribe, share this with someone that might be doing the same thing or might be on the path to bettering themselves in their journey, so we can do it together. That's really the purpose of this, and to share our thoughts and feelings along the way. Also, I'm trying to make this as raw and to the point as possible. As you can tell, like, quality isn't really something that I'm super focused on right now, to build this like high production value with the nice cameras and everything like that. I have all those. That's not my goal with this channel, is to give you the raw nitty gritty, just here's the information, and share it as I go. So you'll see me filming in cars and, you know, like this, just outside the house and just documenting along the way. So cutting right into it, the budgeting method that we use is in largely part of what Ramit Sethi has in his book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And his philosophy, and I love this philosophy, is like focus and spend money extravagantly on the things that you love while cutting costs ruthlessly on the things that you don't love. Meaning, spend money on the things that you like. If you like cardigan sweaters, or if you like going on trips, or if you like expensive shoes, diamonds, whatever, perfect. Save money for that. But also cut costs in the other areas of your life that you don't like, or that you don't want to spend money on, that would give you the more flexibility to spend more money on the things that you like, right? And it's pretty simple, right? Of course, like outside of necessities like shelter, food, utilities, things like that, you have a lot of flexible money, more than you would think, available or readily available. So how we've done it is we take a percentage of our paycheck every single month. Firstly, we figure out what kind of money we make, and we use free tools like mint.com, or Intuit Mint, or however you pronounce it, and it's a free resource. So you can check and link your bank accounts to see exactly how much money is coming in and out of that account. And then from there, you can get a full month summary, or 3-month or 6-month summary. Ideally, the longer timeline, the better, to give yourself an average of the amount of money that you spend on everything throughout the month. Once you have that, you can then justify, okay, we spend, for the sake of math, $5,000 a month with mortgage, food, utilities, necessities, really, and then like miscellaneous things, you know, shopping, things like that. So you know that you spend $5,000 a month, you might make $6,000 a month. So ideally, the thing that we've done is we take a percentage of our paycheck. Right now, we're about 30% of our paycheck every single month. Without even seeing it, we put that 30% directly into an investment fund for future investing, things that are going to help our net worth grow, whether that's education or like long-term skills or investments, you know, real estate, you know, even stocks. A lot of it is in real estate though, but we do have a vending machine business as well that we reinvest back into. But you have that money that you can reinvest somewhere, somehow, right? So right now we have projects around the corner. That's what we're going to reinvest into. And that's kind of our current approach, because we're going to refinance in the future, you know, long story short. When it comes to the budgeting part, after you take the percentage of your income, you can do 5%. You don't have to do 30, you don't have to do 20, just something, right? Put away something for your future self and pay yourself first. Because if you can learn to live on 95% or 70% or 50% of your income, that will give yourself a lot more flexibility in your long-term growth. So once you have that, you then say, okay, how much are we spending on all of these items on average over a 6-month or 3-month timeline? So if you spend on average $400 a month in groceries, you would set up a bank account for a majority of the expenses. I mean, that's what we've done, right? So we use Charles Schwab, which is a freaking rock star of a personal checking account, you know, organization. a banking service or a bank. And the reason why we like them is there's no fees, there's no minimum account minimums, there's nothing, balance transfers, there's no fees associated with like the everyday tasks that you would with a bigger bank like Wells Fargo or Bank of America. There's also no overdraft fees, and they even reimburse you if you use an ATM at the end of every month. So that's all really cool. So you set up certain accounts for certain expenses that you typically make on a monthly basis in a recurring setting. That's what we've done. You don't have to do this. It's just for me and my wife, that's like what gives us peace of mind, knowing that we have it set up correctly. So it might be like food and home expenses. We might do, standard miscellaneous expenses, or like daycare, simple things that you might spend in a month that you might create a bank account for, specifically for that reason, that you put aside outside of your joint checking account. So that way, whenever the money comes into your joint checking account, it immediately or scheduled on a recurring basis will go to those accounts. And that way it's out of the main account, so you don't see it as a potential that you might use it. So how that would work, just to give you context, let's say your paycheck is $2,500 or $3,000 every single 2 weeks or every 2 weeks. So you have your joint checking account as your core account, and then everything else will stem out of that. So you go 3,000, you might have 1,500 for your mortgage, which is a bit high because you don't want to be over 30%. So let's say your total mortgage is, 1,800 is 30% of 6,000, 30% of 6,000, so 1,800. And then you have like your groceries for 400, shopping, utilities, and like home expenses, car payments, student loans, things like that. Things that like you will have on a recurring basis, like your fixed expenses. You will have an account, or maybe multiple accounts if it makes it easier, for those expenses. And then you would then categorize like shopping or things that are more of wants more than anything into another account. And then we've done something a little bit further than that, where we have a high yield savings account for longer time horizon payments, like 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. So we might have like emergency funds, a baby fund for like big purchases or any purchase for our child. We have purchases for our dog, like vet visits, haircuts, things like that. Random fun money for us, like anytime we want to go to a restaurant that we might not have a ton of funding for, who knows, right? There's a lot of different reasons to have that accounts. So you can categorize them however you want. We use Marcus Goldman Sachs for that, for like a high yield savings. Currently, the interest that we're making on the account is like 4%. It was down to like 0.95 peak COVID, so it definitely changed. It's gone up. So I don't know what it would be in the future whenever you're watching this, but that's what it's at currently. So I would recommend signing up with them if you can. And that again is like for longer term expenses, right? So for us, again, that's where our investment account goes. So we'll just have like a nest egg or more or less like a war chest, or like a big surplus of investment funds that we can deploy as needed, when needed, for things that will grow us income, assets essentially. For us, real estate is a big one. So a lot of our funding currently at this point in time is going to go back into the real estate side of things for projects like that will increase the value of the home that we're currently house hacking or living in. And that's another video for another day as far as house hacking. So roping this all in, simply put, you'll have a main checking account, like your joint checking account, or main account that you guys put your money in, or maybe separate accounts for each of your paychecks, whatever. And then you have your expenses that might be your fixed expenses, recurring things like mortgages, utilities, car payments, student loans, like things that you have to pay every single month without fail, or else the world will end and you'll get kicked out of whatever you have. So that way you have those covered. So let's say that's $2,500 all in. You now have, what is that, 20 or 3,500 left in like random expenses here and there, which is a really good place to be if you're able to make that happen. Let's just say $3,000 for the sake of math. So you have $3,000 additional, and if you are putting away 30% of your income, that is another $1,800. So now leaves you with $1,200. So now you've got $1,200 in like random expenses. And if you have a kid, you have dogs, if you go out to eat, you know, things like that, it definitely adds up. So you would divide that as needed or however you need to make it worthwhile. But the thing that keep in the back of your mind is like, what do I love doing? And what do I want to put a lot of money away for? For us, we love traveling. So a large portion of our extra income is for traveling. We put away like $300, $400 a month for traveling at some point in the future. So let's say in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, we have enough money to spend money guilt-free on a trip. And to add to that, we also are big into like credit card points. Not that we do like the whole, you know, get a new card every 3 months or 6 months or a year and, you know, try to maximize the amount of value we can get out of them. But we do have the Chase Trifecta, which is the Chase Flex, the Chase Freedom Unlimited, and the Chase Sapphire. Currently, the Chase Reserve would be more ideal for like steroid bonuses, but for us, it gives us a lot of flexibility because we have the 1.5% for everyday expenses, maybe 5% for like one-off, and then like travel, we can convert those into the Sapphire Preferred for, I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken, it's 1.25 times the total value of what we've gotten currently. So you can get up to 1.875 times the points. If my math is wrong, deal with it. But credit cards are a really big thing for us, and we use them for our business as well. So our business expenses are relatively high in some cases for our vending machine business. So it's like a double whammy. And that was kind of the purpose that we wanted to start with the business anyway. So rambling aside, hopefully this video helped in some way, shape, or form. If it did, like I said, if you want to follow along for the financial freedom journey, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part. Really curious to hear your feedback. I'm making this channel more for my future self, my kids, my family, to see the process, and that's the fun part of this. You know, Gary Vee is a big inspiration of mine, and he is always talking about the importance of documenting. So here we go. I've been documenting our journey for about a year and a half now, and if you want to check out my blog, it is financialfreedomandme.com. That is a little bit more one-off topics here and there, but I'm going to be posting a lot more frequently on the YouTube channel, just because I can talk like this for 5, 10, 20 minutes at a time and just give you full context of everything that we're doing and where we're looking to go. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned.